good. So thank you, first of all, Staking Rewards, for inviting me to speak today. I would like to explain how easy it can be to stake from home. So that's my topic. As already been introduced, my name is Bernd Lapp, and together with Stefan Ponnet, I co-founded Avado. So I entered the blockchain space at the end of 2014 and was part of the advisory board of the Ethereum Foundation until 2017. I live in Zug, Switzerland, also known as the Crypto Valley. And in 2018, we created Avado because we saw the decline of nodes that are run in privately owned settings. So today, Avado is the most convenient solution to stake crypto at home and maximize your profit. So imagine you're in the blockchain space for a while and also have a good amount of crypto. So let's say ETH. You hear about staking and like the idea that your crypto is not simply increasing value by hodling it, but you can also grow your crypto by staking. You research the topic and find out that it needs three things. You need the right hardware. So for example, you need a 4-core CPU, you need 16 gigabyte of memory, and 1 terabyte of SSD, or even more higher specs. Then you need a good amount of crypto, let's say 32 ETH, because you want to stake on ETH. And last but not least, you need technical knowledge. That is also helpful. So looking at these three topics, you probably have to acknowledge that you don't have enough know-how to build or to buy the right hardware and build the staking validator yourself. So how do people actually stake? So this chart is taken of the 2021 Staking Ecosystem Report conducted by Staking Rewards. And this is a very helpful document, as you will see in the following slides. So if you combine the yellow and the orange slices, you can clearly see that most of the staking happens by using third-party solutions. Only 12% run their own node, meaning they have the right hardware, built the node from scratch, and put their stake to work. 20% stake on-chain, but don't run the validator themselves. They also use a third party for the heavy lifting. So most stakers use third parties to stake, and therefore have to share their profits with them. And these can be hefty. We see up to 25% of fees when we look at the different staking providers. But what are they actually offering? It is the two parts you are not capable of, which is finding the right hardware and installing the validator. The biggest value add is what you bring to the table, which is the stake itself. You invest around $120,000 if you stake Ethereum, or even more, depending on the value it gets. And they take a percentage of your rewards. So let's look at an example calculation. So if you stake 100,000 USD, and we use the average yield from the Staking Ecosystem Report, which is 8.53%, you will receive 8,530 USD per year in rewards. The staking provider takes a hefty cut of 25% on that reward, and therefore gets more than $2,000. Now, if the staking provider could only run one validator per server, that would not be profitable for them. But we know from our own hardware that users can run multiple, if not even 100 validators on one machine. The cost for the machine is the same, including bandwidth and electricity, no matter how many nodes are run on the server. So the cost for the staking provider is constant, but his earnings are flexible. And the more crypto is staked, the more they will earn. So my honest question is, why are you paying these fees to staking providers? Oh, and another question I wanted to ask is, why do we use blockchains again? Right, we can eliminate the middleman. At least that was the idea. But this only works in a decentralized architecture. If users keep delegating their stake to non-custodial or even custodial staking pools, it introduces again the middleman, and in addition creates a larger risk for centralization. I guess the simple answer is that even if users agree that decentralization is important, the challenges to stake at home are too big for most participants. Obviously, this needs to change. Users need a plug-and-play solution that makes it easy to run a validator, deposit your stake, And keep the validator always up to date also has to be really convenient. This is the reason we built Avado. We want you to be able to stake at home. You don't need to know what is the best hardware. You don't have to have any technical skills. You should be able to use it like your smartphone or your laptop. It just needs to click. So it needs to be a device you simply plug in, follow the easy staking guide to deposit your stake, and earn 100% of your reward. No sharing with any third party anymore. And finally, you should relax while your crypto stash grows. So Avado has chosen the best hardware to stake on with the right specs and room for growth for the next 2 to 3 years. The device is fanless and therefore makes no noise. It uses less energy than your light bulbs, and you simply plug it into your router and your power supply. Once it's running, you connect your laptop to the Wi-Fi of the device and browse to the integrated user interface of the device. In addition, we created an operating system that makes it very easy to use, including a dApp store with all your favorite staking solutions and even more dApps to use. Every application comes with an explanation wizard that takes you through the staking process. No difficult command line coding, just simple clicks, and your staking keys are stored offline, either on a USB stick or your hardware devices like Ledger and Trezor. The Avado itself is not storing any sensitive data and also does not communicate back to the Avado team. We use IPFS. If you haven't heard of that, it's a decentralized file distribution system to update the software. And this ensures that your validator will always run the latest version. Avado is a one-time investment with 0 staking fees. So now let me just demo it. And if you can see my screen, I don't know if you see the top of my screen. So I have a VPN here set up. I have several devices I can connect to. These are all Avados. I will choose this device and just wait for it to connect. Takes a while. Now it's connected. And then I go to a page that is an internal page that I only see if I'm connected to my device. So no, I was not connected before. And now I'm connecting to my own device. So here's the dashboard. I can clearly see that my CPU is running very well at 23%. There's no heavy lifting right now. Memory is really good. And my disk usage is very small. It has a 2 terabyte disk, and I can run several packages on it. So for example, on this machine, I'm running an Avalanche node, so I'm staking on Avalanche. I can stake on Qtum or Quantum. I never know how to pronounce that correctly. I have an XDAI node running, Hopper, and another package I will explain in a few seconds. So what I want to show you now is the dApp store. So here's what we created is a store like you know it from your smartphone. You can simply click on any application and see if it's running. You can see the details of it running. So I can configure this package here. And now I see that my node status is ready. Quantum is already synced. So I'm fully synced with this node. I can put stake on if I want to. There's a wallet integrated, or the official wallet is integrated. So it's really easy to use. If I click on this, the wallet will open. And now I can also show, for example, if I want to run the Ethereum node, so the Geth client, we have several clients on here. We have the Open Ethereum, we have Nethermind, an Ethereum node, and the Geth node, which is the most common. And I can just simply show you how it gets installed. So I click on this, I click on install, and now it's downloading from IPFS. It's downloading the image. The size is 29 megabyte, so that's not much. You even can see the hash of the package. So you could even rebuild the package and verify that this hash is the same hash as we built. So we have an SDK that you can use to build this. But I don't want to get too technical now. I just want to show you how easy this is to be installed. And once this is installed, I can see it on my home screen as well. I now see the Ethereum node here, and I see that it's now starting to sync, which will take a while because it's a big chain. Probably takes 2 days on this machine to fully sync, and then I can start using it, for example, to connect to MetaMask. I have my own RPC endpoint, so this is my access point to my node that I have here. I can simply copy that, put it into MetaMask, and then MetaMask is not using any third party anymore. It really uses my own node to propagate transactions to the network. So just wanted to show that real quick. So it's really, really easy to use. I think this gives a good overview of how easy it can be to run a node, and then also to stake. So this is the idea behind it. Let me go back to the presentation real quick. So, and if you have any more questions, we can talk about this later. So the other thing that we have is a great community. So our users are our biggest asset. We have a very active and helpful community. And this also is because we have a reward system for support, so that any community member that gives support is also rewarded by us for doing so. No question is unanswered. And our users are always learning more new stuff along the way from each other. We work closely together with developers from Ethereum and Quantum. And in addition, we receive grants from the Web3 Foundation, Avalanche, and also Swarm. For Hopper, we even built a customized computer that runs perfectly with the Hopper package. I guess now there's no more excuse not to stake at home. So you can maximize your profits and contribute to decentralization. So this is it already. I'm happy to take your questions, and yeah, hope you liked it.
Thank you very much for that awesome presentation there, Bernd. So just to start us off with some of these questions. So could you just explain briefly what chains does Avado currently support, and what are you looking to add in the future? And maybe how does that process work on adding a new asset?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we started with Ethereum. That was the first chain we started with. We built on that. We have also the Bitcoin chain. You can download the Bitcoin chain. Is simply a node that you can run. Monero is also a node you can run. We integrate the Light client so that you can interact with the Bitcoin chain and run a Light client channel yourself. Lightning node channel. And now we recently just added Avalanche and received a grant from the Avalanche Foundation. And the latest addition to staking is Quantum. And we've chosen Quantum, just going into the second part of your question. We've seen that not everybody has 32 ETH or 2,000 AVAX. So there's different ways of staking by the protocol. So some protocols choose to have a minimum that you stake. Some have an auction process where you have to always outbid a certain number of other validators to keep in the active pool. And Quantum simply lets you stake anything. You can start staking with 10 Quantum. It's just the amount of time that it will take for you to receive a reward is very low if you start with a low amount to stake. And it gets just quicker the more you stake. So it's a good, the barrier to entry, we try to lower that. On the other side, getting our devices are not cheap, and you really have to get a return of your investment. So I think if you have 32 ETH, it totally makes sense to run it at home and not share your profits. And we will add other staking solutions, and we're in talks with other projects that even have other hardware specs than we have right now. So we will build other hardware solutions for them. Again, very specialized, very consistent for their own staking solutions. That is one part, but we also support other dApps, not only staking solutions. So we have Mysterium is a VPN that you can be a VPN endpoint, and you will earn mist tokens, that is their own currency. If you give access to other people to the VPN, to the internet that you provide, so you actually sell them bandwidth, and that is one solution. Then we receive a grant from Swarm for storing data. So it's a data storage, because we have devices with 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, even now coming an 8 terabyte version, that you can use this additional space that you might not need to really sell it again to other users that might need the storage. So it's most applications have a two-sided market. Sorry if I'm ranting, you have to stop me. Most applications have a two-sided market. They need, for example, hardware, storage, CPU processing, or bandwidth, and they also need users that want that. So you need both sides, and they're only providing the infrastructure to do so, and that's where we come to play. So any application can contact us, any project, and we will get them started on our platform. But as I mentioned in my talk, we also have an SDK. So anybody can create a package that runs on Avado. It's an IPFS hash that they receive at the end. And you can run it locally. You can run it on your machine for sure. But you can also tell us, and we can add it to the dApp store. So then it's distributed to all the users that we have, all the devices. So it's also a distribution channel for applications to get more users. And it's decentralized. So it's really running at people's home. So that's the good part about it. So not sharing your profits and caring for decentralization goes hand in hand.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I have a question, like, how do you address the concerns of users who are considering to use Avado and stake at home? Like, is it really like plug and play? Because you need to have like constant electricity, internet, and I don't know, mistakes in like setting up the Avado, or general like the node and performance slashing issues. Even like, yeah, I mean, security in general, like having all the private keys at home and letting them run, and maybe, I don't know, like inviting friends over and something, you have your home node there, or like stuff like this. Like, it's all things that people are concerned about when running their own nodes. So like, how do you address these issues, and how difficult or easy is it actually to run a node yourself at home?
Yeah, we do experience some users that have problems, but mainly not with the device itself, but with the router, because internet service providers are not used to devices that have constant interaction, sending and receiving information to many peers. So the peer-to-peer aspect is the biggest threat, or the biggest challenge to overcome sometimes. You have to have open ports in with certain packages on your router. And that is the biggest challenge we see. So it's not the device itself, it's really your infrastructure that you provide or that you use. Electricity and bandwidth is also definitely an issue. So these are all sort of obstacles that are not under our control, but we see, I mean, we sell into more than 65 countries right now, worldwide. And there's like Vietnam and every exotic country you can think of is also included. But the biggest challenges, or the biggest feedback we get, is from users in the US, that they have power surges and that their bandwidth is dropping. So that is something that you have to overcome. There's technical solutions, like in what's it called, UPS. It's a unified power supply, I think it's called, that levels your energy so that it's a constant energy flow, so power surges cannot damage your machine, and it also provides electricity when your power there's a blackout. And you should use this for your router and your machine, because if your router is down, then you still don't have internet. Again, bandwidth is a topic that you all have, that somebody has, or a user has to research before he buys a machine. But it's not really a huge amount, but today everything goes through the internet, so a 20 megabyte line is probably the minimum you need. So those are more the obstacles. We do see users that have some issues, and definitely machines break down. our users, I think there was one user, because we use graphities on Ethereum on the beacon chain. So we see users use Avado machines for staking, and I think one user was slashed, probably because he uploaded his keys twice on two machines, because some users even have two machines in separate places to create redundancy so that they can switch keys, validators easily, which is possible, but you shouldn't do it at the same time, because then you get slashed. Otherwise, if you're just simply offline, it's you don't get the reward. There's it's not a whole lot of cost involved. But again, everything you do, if you do it correctly in blockchain or in cryptocurrencies, should be all about self-sovereignty. And you have to be sure that you have certain processes in place. You have to keep your keys secure. These are not on the device, so anybody that accesses the device cannot grab your keys. He cannot grab the stake. It's not part of the device itself. So even if it gets stolen, there's no use for it. And you can always move your validator to a new machine. We even have now a process in place where you can run a beacon chain that we provide just to overcome any obstacles you might have in that case.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think you're definitely on top of most of these topics there already. So that's really good. And I understand that you are probably also have you're very active in supporting everyone who goes with the Avado. And you mentioned shipping to 65 countries already. Are you actually able to share, I saw a question there, so how many devices you sold in total already? Or I don't know if it's sensible information or not, but would be nice to create some.
We don't share data about our users, and usually we have data where we shipped it to, but not much more. No, we have 1,000 to 600 devices in the market right now. So those are, it was really interesting to see, because we started in 2018 in December and sold 9 devices. And it was all about decentralization. And now today, it's not about decentralization anymore. We do provide decentralization because people buy the machines and they run it at home. That's sort of the side effect we create. But people buy it because they really want to earn crypto. It's a passive way to earn crypto through staking or through using the hardware of the device itself.
Yeah, really interesting stuff, Bernd. Really appreciate it. Do you want to give everyone the website there so if they can go and buy one maybe?
Sure, it's ava.do. So our name, Avado, just with the dot in between the AVA and .do. So that's our website. I'm sorry if this sounds like a sales pitch, but I think it's really important to understand that it's simple to use, it's really convenient, and there's no reason to pay any fees to any third party. So that's sort of my pitch, and I say everybody can stake at home. And Chico Crypto, I don't know, he's a YouTuber. He calls them solo stakers, so that's a nice term as well. So
nice. Yeah, no, thank you very much. Is there anything else from you guys, or are we happy to move on? Thanks very much, Bernd. Really,
thank you for having me.
And always been great to work with us all the last few months.
Thanks, Bernd.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.